The Michael Berry Show.
So this guy, George Mack, Chance was reading this, and he sent it to me. I'll just synthesize the little narrow part of this. You wake up in a third world jail. You wake up in a third world jail cell. You're only allowed to call one person you know to get you out of there. Who do you call? Play this out in your own mind. Who do you call? You've been visiting Mexico, or for that matter, Turkey, or wherever else. Maybe you're on a mission trip with your church. You've ended up in jail, and yes, it can happen. Why did you choose this person? What is it about them that made you pick up the phone? This person you picked has something. A spark, a je ne sais quoi. That something is high agency. August Landmesser refusing to salute at a Nazi rally in Hamburg. It's a picture of a guy. Everybody else is doing the Nazi salute, but he's not. There's a whole story behind that. We put a man on the moon, peak high agency, before anyone put wheels on suitcases. Everyone carried their suitcases because everyone else carried their suitcases. Now you've seen it. Let's try to explain it. The person you'd call when stuck in a third world jail cell falls on the right side of the high agency spectrum. The thought experiment of a third world jail cell is designed to represent the ultimate live problem on steroids. You're giving the person you would call a seemingly impossible problem alone in the real world with no guidebook and still betting on them finding a solution. If you created a room with everyone you would call when stuck in a third world jail cell, what would that high agency room have in common? It's not age, gender, race, education, job title, or politics. It's not optimism or pessimism. Optimism states the glass is half full. Pessimism states the glass is half empty. High agency states you're a tap. You look in the mirror and see a giant tap staring back at you. The one big thing everyone in that high agency room has in common, they are happening to life. They don't view the future as a static entity. They view it as something to be shaped by human action. Eric Weinstein said, when you're told that something is impossible, is that the end of the conversation, or does that start a second dialogue in your mind? How to get around whoever it is that's just told you that you cannot do something. High agency is such an important idea because the more agency an individual or society has, the more problems they can solve. High agency can be a confusing idea to understand because it's not just one idea. It's a combination of three distinct skills rarely found together. Number one, clear thinking. Number two, bias to action. Number three, disagreeability. High agency is like a tricycle. If you remove one of the wheels, it stops working. It's impossible to imagine someone breaking you out of a third world jail cell without all three. If they can think clearly, they will charge ahead with the first. If they can't think clearly, they will charge ahead with the first bad plan that pops into their head. If they lack a bias for action, they'll never move their ideas from theory into the real world. If they aren't disagreeable, they'll quit and conform when someone in authority tells them no. Do you have agency? You might be wondering, as I did. Do you have agency? Would my friends call me when stuck in a third world jail cell? The bad news, low agency is the default setting for most of us. You inherited a brain evolved for the scarcity of hunter-gatherer tribes, and then went through an education system designed to output factory workers for the Industrial Revolution. Are you expecting your default settings to be high agency? The good news, you have agency over your agency. As countless historical examples show, moving up the high agency spectrum is possible. The goal of this essay is to do just that, nudge you nearer towards a problem-solving machine a friend might call when stuck in a third world jail cell. The essay is split into 4 parts, and then he goes into all this. So if you think about who's the most high agency human being alive today, you could argue Donald Trump. You could also argue Elon Musk. You could also begin to understand, since Low agency is the default setting for everyone. Why people hate Elon and why they hate Trump. And if you think about the people who hate Elon and why they hate Elon, it makes all the sense in the world. Once you're prepared to face the reality that there are people who are successful, who create, who do, who accumulate, who build, who change, and then there's everybody else. And the everybody else is made up of categories of people.
The Michael Berry Show.